And welcome to Rabbit and Moon Tarot. I'm going to be doing a collective reading today on Wednesday, the 25th. We have a new moon today, and I normally have only been doing readings on Mondays and Fridays because of my work schedule, but I felt really, really guided to do this message for the new moon. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, normally I do a tarot intro, but lately I've been guided to just go right into the reading. I do want to touch base on it just for a few seconds, which is essentially letting those who are returning viewers and new viewers, thank you for checking out my video. You have full free will and autonomy. So no tarot reader, no channeler, no medium, no psychic is going to tell you what you should do with your life. That's up to you. You're writing your own story. Full free will, full autonomy. Tarot is a tool for self-reflection. So when you're making decisions used on your inner moral compass based on your own particular brand of happiness, it's if you hear something, don't make it fit unless it feels like it's plucking on that heartstring. You would know because I'm not telling you how you will feel. I'm not telling you how you should feel. I would be confirming what you already are feeling because that's kind of how it works as a tarot channeler. I'm picking up on the energy. So just keep in mind, full free will, full autonomy. The universe is always, conspiring to help you. But you make the decisions because ultimately, when you look at it, you're the only one who gets the benefit from the boons of the good decisions that you make and have to deal with consequences of decisions that are maybe not coming from the best place. It's your decisions. Those are the stories that you're writing. So what story do you want to write? Anyways, we're going to go into this new moon energy. Normally, pardon me, while I get comfortable. Normally, I only do Mondays and Fridays because of work schedules and whatnot, but I felt really guided to do one today. So let's see what we have. We're going to get a couple of beginning oracles for this new moon, Wednesday 25th. What is the collective feeling? Oh, one flipped around in the deck. Hold on, let me get it. See, it's going to, as you can see it. Oh, well, we have more that just fell. That is way too many. But the one I was trying to show you was this one peeking out right there. Do you see it? So that one is you've got to be kidding me. The last time I did this reading, it was the strawberry moon. So when cards kind of flip around in the deck, and it doesn't come to the table, it's generally feelings that are kind of whirling about inside of you, or something that you've been considering inside, or someone that you're connected to has been thinking, feeling, or it's whirling about inside. So the strawberry moon is representative of a time to embrace joy and celebrate life. It encourages connections with loved ones and sharing moments of happiness. So this is about connections and celebration. So for those of you that were here during, was it 2 weeks ago when we had the strawberry full moon? Here it is again. And the reason why it's so poignant is because when I did this original reading, for this whole week that the strawberry full moon was coming and going, I kept saying there is something strong happening in the collective's energy. Something is happening between the 12th of June and the 29th of June, somewhere in that field. And what I realized as I was doing the readings, and I hadn't even put it together, was that the fact that the dates that I had given was the pre-energy of the full moon, and then the I guess you could call it the last residual energies of the new moon. It literally, I outlined the 2.5 weeks between the full moon and the new moon. And here we are on the new moon doing another reading. And look what comes up. This is confirmation for those that felt like what I said 2 weeks ago was resonating. Confirmation. Hello again, if you're back. So this whole cycle is about reconnection and celebration. In what way? It's entirely up to you to figure out how that resonates with you, if it does, but that's confirmation. Someone who's already present in my energy right now is telling me, yes, angel, there have been changes. Yes, angel, there have been revelations that I've had in the last 2.5 weeks. Yes, angel, there are things that I'm working towards that is going to fulfill me emotionally, spiritually, and add to my happiness. Not give me happiness, because we all are responsible for our own particular happiness. But whatever you're moving towards, whatever you're working towards, whatever you're reconnecting with or celebrating is adding to the happiness that you are working on for yourself. Okay. I love this already, but since it didn't come to the table, we're going to get some energies that do apply for this reading. I feel like that card flipped around just to say to the collective, hey, if you were here 2 weeks ago and those readings were resonating, this is confirmation that this is also your reading. Okay, what else do we have going on for the collective? Going into this reading, what do we have? There we go. So we have 2. So we have the wolf moon, which is reconnect with your primal strength and intuition, guiding you towards leadership and self-empowerment. So this is about initiation, strength, and leadership, this wolf moon. And then the other card that we have here is the cleansing moon. Let go of what no longer serves you and cleanse yourself of past burdens. Release, purification, and letting go. These two energies together, these two energies together is find and recognize, acknowledge, and incorporate integrate the strength that you find in your shadow and your light. And when I say that, that means your external world and your internal world, what you present to the outside world. So maybe when you make a decision in the face of other people, you're very 10 tones down on it. You are very much making that decision. Maybe you're physically strong. Maybe you like to lift weights, or you have, you do clean eating. So you have an outward facing strength, but there's an internal strength that you are finding, that you're fine tuning, that you're recognizing finally about yourself. And this cleansing moon, or cleansing waning moon, is about letting go of things that are like inhibiting you from growth, from fine tuning that strength. And what's wonderful about that is that with the new moon is all about new beginnings, where the full moons are about completion, culminations, ending cycles. The new moon is about, okay, now that we've closed out those chapters, closed out those cycles, kind of reevaluated how we want to move forward. Now this is how we're going to set up this next chapter, this next phase in my life, this next stage or level, And I love it because whatever you all decided during this last 2.5 week period. And when I say 29th, that means that's the energy of the new moon, kind of like the residual energies. But somewhere between that 2.5 week period, collective, you had decided on something. Something has already started. You've planted the seed. You've made the decision, whether consciously or unconsciously, to work on self and work towards whatever goal it is that you've set for yourself. Doesn't matter what it is. And I can't even really pull on what it is. I don't think that's for me, though. That is for you. As a reader, I'm confirming that the goals that you've set for yourself, the things that you said, I'm not putting up with this anymore in the last 2 weeks, the things that you were like, you know what? I'm finally doing this for myself. You know what? I've put this off for too long. You know what? This is my true happiness. You know what? I'm going to take that class. I'm going to try for that job. Whatever, it almost feels like big life events or big emotional decisions, big life decisions that have happened in the last 2 weeks has been putting you on a path to like the 2.0 version of your life. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you could see it. Oh, it stopped as soon as I started pointing towards it. But the flame was flickering as I was talking about how you had chosen change, how you had chosen movement. There it is again. And then it stops. When I talk about your growth and your change and your movement and all of that kind of stuff, again, look at confirmation. The universe is trying to be like, whatever you've chosen when it has to do with your healing, with your movement, with your growth, with what, again, I can't, whatever. I can't. I gotta keep going because I'm trying to make this one of the shorter readings. I'm trying to be better about not being so long winded. But I get excited about stuff like that. Collective has decided to focus on them and to do what they need to do in order to align their happiness. Okay? That's where I'll say. That's where I'll leave it. Let's keep going. We're going to get 2 more moon cards. What else is the energy of the collective during this new moon? Sorry, I'm doing the shuffling very close to my microphone, so I apologize if it's very loud. I have a little small space. That's what I got. Okay, we got 1, and we're going to do 1 more. 2. Okay, so then we have the full moon in Gemini. Communicate your truth and find clarity in your thoughts and words. Clarity, expression, flexibility. This is about communication. When it says communicate your truth, whatever you've decided whatever you decided, collective, it feels contingent on you verbalizing it. Yes, I will take that job. Yes, I will take that new apartment. I am done with this situation. I deserve more. These are things that you would be saying out loud to whoever. I love you. Let's give this a go. Let's try again. I've been working on myself. I'm healing. I believe in myself. I think I can do this. I'm going to try for this. I'm going to buy that ticket to backpack through wherever. There's a lot of power in the decision that you've made. There's a lot of power in the changes that oh my gosh. Whatever happened in this last 2.5 weeks, I can't even stress this enough. Whatever has happened, come to fruition. An opportunity that was given to you. Something that maybe even relieved your stress. Finally, okay, now I can breathe. Whatever that is in this last 2.5 weeks is, I'm hearing, a new path to a better life. Whatever that means for you, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And the last card that came out was Grounded Crescent Moon. Focus on laying solid foundation and gradually building towards your goals. Oh my God. Stability, foundation. This is what I'm talking about. My God. All right. You have the strength to believe in yourself, to believe in your value. You're getting rid of things that no longer work for you. You're willing to take a chance on things, whether to move away from a situation or move towards an opportunity. But something about whatever that is contingent on a conversation and or some sort of verbalization. If you do ritual work, if you do spell work, if you do prayers, this also counts as that. Like, I believe that this is meant for me. I can see this. You know, when people talk about like, I am as manifestation, perhaps manifestations are coming to fruition. Maybe you're like, I am in a lucrative job. I am in a secure home. I am in a loving and empowering relationship. I am backpacking across Europe. I am doing those kind of statements. Or verbalizing, I will take that job. Yes, thank you. I will take that apartment. This is something I'm no longer putting up with. I am leaving this situation. I wish you well. I am healing. Can we try again? I'm going back to school. These are things that could have happened and could have been spoken. Take it as it resonates. It's not for everyone. I would be confirming to certain collectives what has transpired. Okay. So now that we're in this energy of standing in your power at the precipice of a new beginning, let's get some animal cards because I love animal cards during a new moon and a full moon. So, oh my gosh, I got the animal deck, and at the bottom I have pelican. Now, for those who have watched my videos before, I talked about during this 2.5 week period when I've been talking about the dates, the 12th, through the 29th of June that there was going to be this big, change that for some you would even be receiving some sort of signs. Like maybe if you're not, you're some level of spiritual because you're watching a tarot reading, but some deeply spiritual people who have really firm structured practices believe that repeating signs or synchronicities or animals means something. And I went over a whole thing about if you're waiting for a symbol that the person that you love is coming towards you, or should I move towards the person that I love? If it's true, give me a signal. And I said pelican. If I'm meant to be with this person, if I'm meant to communicate with this person, if I'm meant to be in union with this person, show me a pelican. And I went on this whole spiel about pelicans. And then at the bottom of the deck that I'm about to do animal cards for, we have pelican. Again, second confirmation. If you watched my videos and that resonated with you back then, confirmation now. That yes, whatever is going on in that situation where you allocated pelican as a symbol, there it is. Okay, so with this strength energy, this full moon, the full wolf moon, there we go. Finding strength. Can we get more clarification through the animal energies? Okay. That's too many. We'll take the one that's right here. Charisma, shamanic gifts, and jaguar. I didn't say the animal first. I went straight for charisma and shamanic gifts, which is really strange that I would do that. Normally, I'm all about saying the animal first, but I went right into charisma and shamanic gifts. For some reason, with this charisma energy, I'm getting masculine energy. This is not about gender. This is about masculine energy. This is about someone who wants to take action. Someone that has had a fire lit in them. With the shamanic gifts, it doesn't mean that you are a shaman. That means that you may, like I said, have been getting some little intuitive hits, synchronistic hits, psychic hits, however you want to say it. Gut feeling. You get a vibe. Again, something about this Jaguar card makes me think this is masculine energy, wanting to take action, that has had a fire lit in their soul and in their heart during this 2-week period, that you feel newly incentivized, more focused on your goal. That is the definition of masculine energy. It's action energy, solar energy, fire energy, not gender. It's just what the energy, masculine energy is associated with, is action and fire, that sort of thing. So it's interesting that it came out under the card that was like, you found new strength. You found self-worth. It's kind of perfect. Okay, so for this cleansing waning moon, like removing things that no longer serve you, that are trusting into your intuition, we have Firefly, simplicity in childhood. Ooh, when I hear things that no longer serve you, I'm hearing childhood trauma. Someone is deep diving into, and it doesn't have to be childhood, it just could be self-limiting thoughts. It could be childhood trauma and wounds, but things that I feel like happened a long time ago that maybe you were holding on to, that has stopped you from trying for that new job, backpacking through Europe, really seeing the value in yourself and putting your wants and needs first in a relationship before you get to the others. I've said this before in other readings where when it comes to your wants and needs in a relationship, worrying about yours first and then those of your partner isn't cruel or selfish. It's literally like that instruction you get if you've ever been on an airplane. The flight attendants will say, in case of turbulence, these air masks will fall from just above you, and you put your mask on first, and then you help someone else, because you're not going to be of use to anybody if you pass out because we lose air pressure. Put your air mask on. Let the fresh oxygen, sustain you. And then you have clarity of mind to help someone else. In a relationship, if you don't put your mask on first and you're trying to help someone else, it's at the cost of your well-being. Someone else is getting all the benefit, but then you're not getting what you need. So again, this is simplicity in this childhood when in combination with the cleansing waning moon, getting rid of things that you don't need anymore, trusting in your intuition. And with the childhood, yes, very much, very strongly, I'm hearing it is having to do, okay, hold on. I'm hearing childhood wounds, yes, but I have more specifically, not just childhood wounds, but parental. So it could be attached to, parent. It isn't just having a hard childhood. It is directly linked to a parent. So working through that and not letting that shackle you into a past version of yourself, letting that old version of yourself go. We're at the new moon. This is the time to set new intentions on how you want to grow into a healthier version of yourself. Now, the full moon in Gemini, let's get a card for that. That's about communication. That's the moon of whatever has happened in the last 2 weeks, or whatever ball has started rolling during the last 2 weeks. It started because of something that was verbalized, whether in spell work, ritual work, prayer, or conversation, or something that you said out loud. We have the pelican. So love and motherhood. Okay. So when I just said that this childhood energy, to me, letting go what doesn't serve you anymore, that also is letting go and healing past childhood trauma. And I said it was connected to a parent. Now we have love and motherhood. It was connected to your mother and how love was shown in that relationship. So for those that it resonates, you might have some difficult memories or energy around your own mother. And that has in turn affected how you appear in relationships, familial relationships, platonic relationships, professional relationships, and romantic relationships. It may not have been overtly obvious to you years ago, but the more that you find strength in yourself, the more you recognize that you have to heal these childhood wounds or past wounds, the more you realize that the tumultuous, tempestuous, uneasy connection you may have with a mother energy and how they showed love or how love was taught to you in that relationship has affected not just one type of relationship, but how you work through all types of communication or relationships. And with this, with the full moon in Gemini, this communicative card, it's like whatever you want, whatever change, which is, it looks like healing, self-worth, finding inner strength, has started because you said something. When I said, I've had enough, it's like, this is something you could have even said to yourself. You could have looked at yourself in the mirror and said, look, collective, I've had enough. We need to stop this. Yes, we have a difficult and gritty past with the mother energy, but we need to sort that out. We couldn't help it as a child, but as an adult, we absolutely have the power, the authority, and we owe it to ourselves to heal this so we can move forward and be a healthier, loving version of ourselves. And when I say loving, I mean loving to yourself, because with this possible mother wounds, you likely have, self-worth issues. Okay, so now we have grounded crescent moon. So let's get an animal card for that. Oh, and the grounded crescent moon is, as the card says, about grounding, finding structure, building new structures. Yes! We have the dog card, friendship and loyalty. Yes, building new foundations, building new relationships, building new connections through loyalty and friendship first. If you are in a romantic situation and you already know what you want to do, you've already drawn the lines in the sand like I posted about in the last reading, drawing the lines in the sand, you already know that this job isn't working for you. You already know that this friend or love relationship or familiar relationship isn't working, and you've pulled away, you've drawn a line in the sand. When you're building new foundations, you want it built on loyalty, on trust, on friendship, on love, on consistency, on dependability. Because when we think about a dog, and I'm not trying to minimize this in any way, but the dog is loyal. consistent, dependable, unconditionally loving. These are the things that you're looking for when building new connections, regardless of whether or not they are professional, familial, platonic, or romantic. That's what you need. And I just heard, and that's how you need to show up for yourself. I just heard there needs to be a loyalty to self. Hold on. I'm hearing there needs to be a loyalty to self. There needs to not be a betrayal of self. Something tells me, collective, that part of this really big change that you might be going through right now is the fact that you often sacrificed yourself for the pleasure, for the comfort, for the benefit of someone else. Again, regardless of the situation. And Spirit is saying there needs to be a loyalty to self. This is the air mask coming down from the airplane when the cabin is depressurizing or whatever. You put your mask on first. Loyalty to self. Know your self-worth. Know that you're strong. When you have loyalty to yourself and you know that you have value, inner and outer strength, you hold yourself sacred, and you are loyal to self, you actually appear better to the world and for yourself. Because if you're constantly giving to other people, constantly at their pleasure, at their comfort, at their convenience, at their benefit, not only does it take away from you, but in some instances, and a lot of instances, it builds a certain level of resentment. So there needs to be loyalty to self. Let's get some tarot, okay? Okay, we're 30. I was trying to make this a 30-minute read, but I don't think it's going to be. I'm going to try and keep it brief because I know some people listen to tarot on the go. So let's get some clarification on this Jaguar energy, this charisma. Again, I'm hearing masculine energy. This is about taking action, and through this, it does feel like you have been taking action. You have communicated. You have made decisions during this last 2.5 week period. Okay, so we have the Hermit. Yes, you found this strength. You found this charisma, this kind of masculine energy, this lit fire within. What? The fire within. That sounds like something. What am I thinking of? Collective, if that term means something to you, song, book, poem, a fire within. I'm hearing that. I keep hearing that. But regardless, you found strength. You took action to actually go inward, to heal, to find that inner strength. I do feel like this road to strength, to finding self-worth, to finding your self-esteem, your value, your sovereignty, your sacredness again, has not been an easy road. It has been, I'm gonna be honest. It feels like you are crawling through the mud and the grit and the sweat and the blood. You were in the trenches. It has taken you upwards of years to get to the point where you start recognizing, like, hey, I actually don't deserve all this bullshit. I deserve something better. Because I'm a good person. I'm not perfect, but no one's asking you to be perfect. This is a hill that I'm willing to end my days on. You do not have to be perfect. That's not what any relationship requires. It requires dependability. It requires consistency, accountability, vulnerability, a willingness to grow, but it does not require perfection. And so this path to self-worth, to understanding, to re-understand, to remember who you are and what power you hold has not been easy. But you're there. And when I say you're there, it means you've found the path and you are walking it. During this 2.5 week period, something has clicked. A light has been, a fire inside. A spark has been lit. Again, with that charisma energy. And I was like, oh, this seems like masculine energy, solar energy, action orientated. Something lit a fire within you. It was the want, the desire, better for yourself, better in your life, to experience peace and calm and and dependability and consistency and love and whatever it is. It has not been an easy journey, but you are still walking it. I am getting that you've lost your way a couple of times, or you've stepped off the path a couple of times, but not this time. This time you're sticking to it. You are not being swayed from your path. If anyone tries to like wave from the sidelines, being like, hey, can I get your attention? You're like, sorry, I got it. I got to go. I got a mission. Okay, so for the Firefly. So we have the World card. The World card is about progressive, positive change in like an overarching way. This isn't just, this affects your job. No, this affects your job. This affects family life. This affects romantic life. This affects how people see you, how you see the world. And what is that under? That is under cleansing waning moon, getting rid of things that no longer serve you. Trusting in your intuition, yes. But with the simplicity in the childhood, again, this is like healing self-limiting thoughts. Things that have held you back. Again, trauma with parentals, mother wounds. By changing, by healing, by transmuting what was once trauma into inner strength through healing, through acknowledgement of the wound, showing love and tenderness and patience with yourself, it changes how you can see yourself, your friends, your work, your family, your lover, the world. Because when you have time and patience and consideration for yourself and your journey, you can reflect that to the world. This is change in a huge way. That's why it's called the World. So now let's go into Pelican energy, or the communication card, the full moon in Gemini. Then we have the Death card. Death card is all about transformation. It's about metamorphosis. This is about rebirth. This is about, like I said, this, we have the love and the mother, and I said there's childhood issues here, and now we move on to the mother. So we have mother wounds here. We have uncomfortable, traumatizing wounds, a turbulent relationship with this mother energy. But here we already talking about healing, moving, growing, drawing a line instead, and said, drawing the line in the sand and saying, that is enough. I deserve better. Where you stop, where you're drawing the line is no more self-limiting thoughts. No getting close and then running away because you're afraid of love. You're healing this. You're facing your wounds. And so that is a type of transformation, a metamorphosis into who you want to be and who you know yourself to be. This is why, oh my gosh, I heard, what's the name? Speaking words to power. I think that's what, I heard it really quick, a flash in my head. Speaking words to power. So what I said about full moon in Gemini is something that you've said, again, it could be ritual work, spell work, a manifestation, therapy to the person that you're healing from. Maybe you spoke directly to your own mother and said, hey, I'm drawing this healthy boundary. You need to respect it because I'm healing from the things that I experienced as a child. It could be a lover. It could be a family member. There is some sort of communication that you verbally said that is moving you towards this transformation. Maybe you said it to yourself. Like I said, you just looked at yourself in the mirror and said, collective, that's enough of that. We're done with that version of us. We want better for ourselves. We're not perfect, but every day we're striving to heal for ourselves, to find the value in ourselves, to recognize the value in ourselves, to remember the value in ourselves. That is a transformation. It is a rebirth. From the caterpillar to the butterfly. It is a transformation of who you once were and who you are becoming and will become. And once you move that way, there's no going back. You can't unsee things. You can't unexperience things. So the healing that you're doing, the healing that you will accomplish, the healing you've already done, that has in small ways changed how you view the world. Maybe you've become more spiritual. Maybe you've become more patient. Maybe things have become more clear and you've taken less bullshit, however it's going to manifest. So now let's go to the grounding card and this lovely card of the dog. This is about loyalty. This is how you want to start new, start fresh, whatever it is. Apply it as it will. But what I want to stress is how underlined this energy is at that my guides are saying you need to keep loyal to self. Make sure you are right with you. Make sure you feel right with yourself. You need to have I just heard, you need to have a good friendship with your shadow or your inner world. That means not hiding from the things that need healing, not hiding or ignoring the wounds or trauma, but looking at it, recognizing it, putting a light on it and being like, hey, I see you. And I'm not afraid of you. What we need, inner world, what we need, shadow self, what we need, my wounded child, is to take hands and hold hands together and go through this healing. Incorporate it. So let's get a tarot card for that. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Wands. Again, more communication. More communication. With this, start first with looking at yourself better, treating yourself better, being loyal to self, starting with person one, person A, you, yourself, and then moving out into the world with building friendship. And the other thing is, I hear that because for some of you, for a long time, you didn't even really like yourself very much. The dog energy is love unconditionally. So you have to love yourself unconditionally. Again, doesn't mean that you're perfect, but it means you recognize your shortcomings, that you're willing to accept that as humans, we are flawed creatures, but we strive every day to be better versions of ourselves for ourselves and for those that we love around us and for the world. Self-acceptance and love. And this Eight of Wands, communication, so much of this change seems to has pivoted on communication, something that you said, again, ritual work, spell work, prayer, manifestation. Maybe you spoke to yourself in a mirror. Maybe you're in therapy. Maybe you said what you needed to say to the person that has been hurting you. Maybe you set new boundaries with family members. Communication is ending this reading by there is something more that needs to be said. This is what I'm hearing. There's something more that needs to be said. And while over here with the full moon in Gemini, this is communication that you did. There's incoming communication for you, collective. Not only that you want to communicate, but there's communication coming in towards you. Maybe you'll get a piece of information that helps you towards your healing. Maybe you'll get a notification of the job that you want, or maybe you'll reconnect with someone that you haven't heard from in a long time. Maybe a friend will come towards you and say, hey, I wanted to talk about some things, and whatever they share has shed light on how you're healing and how your healing is affecting other people in positive ways, because they see how you've really have gone through some shit, but you're persevering and you're healing. And perhaps that communication you receive is them saying, I really respect what you're going through. I really respect the progress, and I want to do the same for myself. How do I start? Take it as it resonates. It could be that. But there is something coming for the collective, and there's something that the collective wants to say still. There's been a lot of communication here, yes, but it's ending with communication, which means collective. Sit in this new moon energy and think about what you want to start for yourself. What new chapter in your life do you want to grow into? What new chapter do you want to write? How does it look? What does it feel like? Who is in it? If it helps, write it down. And then say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Be in your most authentic power. Consider what you need to be happy, to be healthy, to be free. and say what you need to say. I'm going to get one more card from the Moon Oracles, and then we'll wrap it up. Alrighty. So, okay, that's too many. Let's just do one. There we go. Oh my, okay. So we got the Thunder Moon. This is wild to me because sorry, I'm stumbling over my words because I get really excited about energy. The moon we started with was the strawberry moon, which was literally, I did a full moon reading 2 weeks ago, which was the strawberry moon. And on that full moon reading, the strawberry moon came out. That was a sign for me. The other card that came out with the strawberry moon was the thunder moon. The fact that we opened this reading with the card that was at the beginning, at the full moon, the full strawberry moon, and the card that we're closing the reading with is still the same moon card from the full moon, is double confirmation that these energies tie together. This is a whole story, collective. For whoever it resonates, this is a whole story. Now, the thunder moon is intense energy within, calling forth powerful forces that will drive transformation and bold change. What did I say here? You are ready to start a new chapter. What does it look like? How does it feel? Where are you at? Who is in it? What love does it bring? What friendship does it bring? What opportunities does it bring? Then speak on it. Speak words to power. Say what you need to say. The thunder moon means deep transformation, intense change, a bold new start, striving out into the unknown as like the adventurer on like the coolest D&D campaign ever. You are ready to take on whatever is coming towards you. So with this newfound strength, with your healing, with you communicating to yourself, to the person that's hurt you, to your therapist, whatever has transpired, that you've drawn a line in the sand, be loyal to yourself, what you want, what you need, what you desire. Figure out what your life looks like in this next chapter. We are in the new moon today. What does your new chapter look like? And then boldly speak it into power. Say what you need to say and move towards your most profound happiness. And that's the reading that I have for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for riding this energy with me. It was very intense. I'm so glad that I did it. It felt like I needed to do it. And this was just not only for the collective that I tapped into, but for me as a reader, this felt potent. This felt very pointed and poignant. All those P words. This is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I will see you at the next reading.